All right, now we're gonna swing the pendulum in the complete opposite direction. This next nominee might be one of the funniest people on YouTube.
That's gotta be me,
at least.
You're damn right I am.
A few times before, I've showed up on some of his streams and made a few comments. He's definitely not somebody that I align with pretty much anything that he says outside of criticisms of Nintendo.
It better be me.
But I do find him hilarious.
It better be me.
That's a big reason why he gets nominated today.
I'm
talking about Fratanga.
Yes!
So the reason I chose Fratanga for this is not because I think he intentionally makes fun of Nintendo just for the sake of being disingenuous. Like, he clearly has a distaste for the company and the way it operates and the way it runs. He doesn't like Nintendo games, and he actually has some very well thought out, researched content in regards to the power of lawsuit. But the reason everybody thinks he's a grifter and everybody calls him a grifter is because he goes out of his way to make Nintendo the butt of all jokes. Like, he is proud to be known as a Nintendo hater.
Yes, I am.
Nintendo Switch 2 ended up selling 300 million units. He would still go out there and talk about how there are 300 million idiots out there, in his opinion.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think it makes his hatred of Nintendo very unique, very different than the other people that are on this list, and really most of the content creators online that are critical of Nintendo in general. Yeah, like most of us do this because we are massive Nintendo fans and we don't like the way Nintendo's going.
Loser.
This guy does it because he thinks it's funny to make Nintendo fans cry. And
Welcome.
cry has he made them do. He also made an entire rap called Gotta Sue 'Em All. Honestly, for that alone, he would be making this list. And that's why the third nominee for the Nintendo Grifter of the Year goes to Fratanga of Fratanga Plays. Following Fratanga is actually one of the smaller YouTubers on this list.
I'm small?
Technically.
Fratanga!
I received a nomination for Nintendo Grifter of the Year!
Douchebag of the Year!
Well, grifter slash hater, because if I was grifting, I would have money, and I would be pretending to hate Nintendo, and none of those things are true. I'm as broke as iDubbbz and his girlfriend. Yeah, I know. Thanks for reminding the people, Husky. And my hatred of Nintendo is 100% authentic. I think that's why people like this channel. It might also be causing me a lot of problems, because, a lot of people hate me because I hate Nintendo, which is a bizarre thing, but nonetheless, go cast your vote. You know who to pick. And give Nintendine some traction for that video, because that was hilarious. And a reminder that you should smash the subscribe button. Nintendo hate is addicting. That's why my eyes glow red. You assume it's the THC, but no. It's just the salt from Nintendo, guys, gets me really lit. And I know it gets you lit too. So help me get to 118,000 subs. Hell, get me to 120,000 and I will do a cover of, I'll do an acoustic cover of Chrono Trigger. I'll play it melodically on the guitar for you, yeah. I promised you a poke rap, I lived up to it. I can do it again. Anyways, time for some Nintendo hate. So grab your haterade, kick back, and let's go over one of the funniest stories I've come across today. Now, I seriously wish this story wasn't true because it's too good to be true. And it makes me question if I'm, inhaling too much cannabis. But no, it's very real. Apparently, Pokemon fans are simply too fat to go to this amusement park or something in Tokyo. The truth is, I wish I could be making this up, but no, it's real. Pokemon fans will need to pass a fitness test before entering New Tokyo theme park.
Wait! You gonna eat that dead fat guy?
Pokemon is getting its very own theme park in Tokyo, Japan, but attendees will need to pass a fitness test to ensure they can actually catch them all. Oh god, I feel bad for Nintendo Prime. He ain't gonna be able to get on the ride.
Stop it! Cut it out! I have a glandular problem.
That'll be $60.
I'm kidding, Nintendo Prime. I know he won't take that too serious. Yeah, sure, Tokyo, it's not because these rides are meant for children and the adults trying to get on are told they just need to lose weight, but reality is you don't want to tell them the truth. They're grown-ass adults who shouldn't be riding little kids' rides or playing Pokemon or being obsessed with it because it's supposed to be for like 8 to 12-year-olds. Who knows? I mean, it is Japan. The people are tiny in every department.
Tiny everything!
Pokemon is finally getting the theme park treatment with its very own section inside the Yomiuri Land amusement park in Tokyo, Japan. Yomiuri Land, whatever the fuck it's called, is Tokyo's largest amusement park and is open year-round with seasonal attractions like pools to cool off during the summer, cherry blossom viewing in springtime, and even special lights for the winter holidays. Yes, very soon, Pokemon fans will get to enjoy catching in real life all year long. Oh my god. Can't believe that's an actual thing written in an article. Oh my god. The cringe. How do Pokemon fans live with themselves? Like, how do you live carrying that shame? I don't understand. I gotta catch them all on my 3DS, catch them all on my Switch, catch them all on my TV, catch them all on my mobile phone. Now I gotta catch them at an amusement park. How about you go catch some bitches? It's a permanent attraction that was first announced in summer 2025 with the planned opening date of spring 2026. In November 2025, news broke that Poke Park Kanto will open on February 5th, 2026, but the trainers should be aware of a strict requirement before they make plans to go there. Indeed, I think you guys should put out a big sign on the front that says, "Not for adults." Much like the beloved Pokemon games, it seeks to emulate Poke Park Kanto will have two separate sections. Anyway, let's just go to the part that matters. Because of this, Poke Park Kanto's ticket policy states that hopeful trainers must have the ability to climb 110 steps without assistance. Well, good luck. You're talking about Nintendo and Pokemon fans. Those guys can barely walk to the fridge. They can barely walk to the toilet. Why would you build an amusement park around the most unfit community on this planet? Whose idea was that? Was the whole idea that Pokemon was tired of how fat and stupid its fans are? So they built an amusement park to help them lose weight? Because they have too much fat in their head? That makes them think Pokemon Legends ZA is a great game? Oh, maybe it was wrong. Maybe Game Freak doesn't hate you. Maybe Nintendo doesn't hate you. Maybe they legitimately worry about you and your liver and that colon, that poor little colon in yours. Those who can't won't be able to go into the woods. Wait, what? Those who can't won't be able to go into the woods. Children under 5 are also barred from entry to this area, as well as any kids who can't make the climb, even if they're accompanied by a parent or guardian. So apparently they won't let you into this section of the park if you're too fat. If you cannot do 110 steps, they won't let you go play in the jungle gym. I mean, you shouldn't, because you know you're an adult, but still, oh my god, you can't make this up. Luckily, there are several different ticket types. Oh my god, so they have fat people tickets? Holy shit, they're gonna literally separate you by your weight class. Oh my god. Which are tacked onto the overall cost of admission for the Yomiuri Land. One of these types is a lower price, but only allows visitors into Sedgetown, rather than the additional Pokemon Forest experience. This is the latest Pokemon related news to spark discourse online after American football star Tom Brady's store in New York was robbed of $10,000 worth of Pokemon cards. Oh my, every day I look into the Pokemon community, there isn't a single positive good thing to say about them. These people are just, they're a plague to society. They're a plague to gaming. Like, they are the embodiment of consumerism. I mean, Pokemon became the highest grossing franchise of all time because the people who buy into it are massive gluttonous buffoons. Can you believe this is actually a real story? Like, can you believe this is real? I can't. But anyway, we got another story. Let's move on. So apparently Nintendo is having a Black Friday sale. Yeah, even Nintendo, as greedy as they are trying to have a sale. But then you're reminded it's not much of a sale when there isn't a single Switch 2 game there. Now, $30 for first-party Nintendo games, that would seem like a good idea until you look at what the titles are. And what do we have here? Some prepackaged sports game? Mario Odyssey? Mario Odyssey finally being $30 after how fucking long? Splatoon 3, wow. Some gay-ass Princess Peach game. Donkey Kong Returns. That's finally 30? The Zelda game, that's fine. Luigi's Mansion 3, Kirby's Deluxe. This company literally throws you scraps and people say, praise be to Nintendo. I love having discounts on video games even older than my hardware. Can you believe there are actual people out there who think this is a deal? They think Nintendo's doing them a favor? You can go emulate all of these Switch 1 games because that's all they are. They're Switch 1 games, not a single Switch 2 game here. Next, apparently, the Switch 2 is causing so much tension and pressure over there at Sony headquarters that they've decided to do the unthinkable. They've decided to discount their system. PlayStation President Hideaki Nishino reportedly pushed through PS5 price cut in Japan after seeing a system slump against Switch 2. Previous management believed it was acceptable for Nintendo to erode PlayStation's market share in Japan. New leadership decided to make a Japanese-only PS5 for the Japanese market, like Nintendo did with Switch 2. Price cut comes at a risk with the Japan-only PS5 possibly being sold at a loss. Oh, God forbid. Remember when taking a loss on console sales was normal for console manufacturers? These guys are too chicken shit to put up with that. These days, they can't afford, apparently, to sell a console at a loss and make it up in software. Everything must be profitable for them now. You can see how much it visibly hurts Sony inside to have to give anybody a discount. Just as much as it hurts Nintendo to give people a $30 discount on like 8-year-old games. These two are greedy as fucks. And what's funny is you would figure that would benefit consumers to see these two competing, but instead you're getting the most bare minimum discounts. New Japanese PlayStation President Hideaki Nishino and the Japanese team helped push forward the new Japan-focused measures. So yeah, it seems that, after Xbox dropped out, Sony's real competition will be Nintendo. Truth is, neither of those two companies should even be worried about each other because people need a home console and then they need a tablet on the go. So these two can actually coexist in the same market. But the Switch 2 is seeing such huge success that it's literally pressuring Sony into making Japanese exclusive sales for a PS5. I am curious to see how much it's eating away at their own business, but I'm willing to bet it's not even a big deal, and Sony's just being insecure about Nintendo per usual, because they don't want Nintendo to outdo the PS2, which is like Sony's one accomplishment. And finally, we have some more Pokemon news. Surprised this one hasn't been covered by more people, but apparently, Digital Foundry covered the disappointing tech in Pokemon Legends ZA. Our pals over at Digital Foundry have provided their verdict on the recently released Pokemon Legends ZA on Switch and Switch 2, covering the tech utilized and the performance gap between the two consoles. Looking at the visuals in the sole location of Lumio City, Digital Foundry states that the execution is rough around the edges. Even on the Switch 2, one particular highlight is the fact that the majority of NPCs found on your travels are motionless, rooted the spot in set locations. Both versions feature copious pop-in. That's right. Even on the Switch 2, there's a lot of pop-in for this title, while many of the pedestrians also pop out when you move closer to them. On a positive note, however, Switch 2 features a lot more detail in environments with sharper textures in general. A sharper texture in a Nintendo game is like going from 720p to 1080p. That's like the biggest leap they can do for you. However, the repeated flat texture maps for buildings, windows, and balconies is called out as being a huge negative, with pixelated visuals when you get close up. Switch 2's biggest upgrade comes with its overall image quality. It utilizes DLSS upscaling to bring the resolution up to a 1440p target while docked and 1080p. Well, 1440p is only good when, textures are good. If you're playing games with very low polygon count and very low AA, and just about very low everything else, 1440p will only make the shitty image all that much more clear to you, so you'll be able to notice how shitty Pokemon is. Congratulations! Good job, Game Freak. And when it's docked, it will be at 1080p in handheld mode. The difference between the two consoles is night and day. Meanwhile, frame rate for the Switch targets 30 FPS, but often drops into the low 20s. How? How does a game that simplistic in its art direction and graphics, how does it manage to do that? When panning the camera around, the Switch 2, meanwhile, is locked at 60 FPS with only very rare drops. Pretty much what we'd expect. then, but it's lovely to get proper breakdown from the tech experts over at Digital Foundry. You can check out their full verdict. Yeah, well, anyway, the verdict is out. Pokemon Legends ZA looks like trash, like I told everybody it did. And there you have it. Those are your topics for today. I decided to throw in more than one. I can't be greedy like Nintendo. I will give you 3 for the price of nothing, because this video's free. But your love, now that I can't buy. Or can I? You tell me. What a great week. It's been a pleasure reporting and shitting on Nintendo for you. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. With that being said, don't forget to vote for me as Nintendo Hater of the Year. With that being said, see you in the next video.
Fritongo sucks ass.